Welcome, Geeks and Goblins. Welcome back to the 4th episode of The Lawrence Show. It has been a long time in coming, and I'll tell you more about it after the intro. Hit it.
It's The Lawrence Show! Yeah!
Well, welcome back. It has been a long time since my last video. I would be surprised if most of you didn't think it was an old flash in the pan there, and that my content was just going to stay at 3 measly videos. Well, it has been crazy. Now, where to start? First off, this last December, my fiance and I were in a terrible car crash. I was driving and we were headed over Mountain Pass to visit our family. Our car skidded over some black ice, and during a sharp curve in the road, we hit the divider, spun around a few times. But to make a long story short, the car was completely totaled. We were fine, the car was totaled. So I am grateful that I buy a million cars before I'd want to hurt my fiance. So this hobby of mine, which I do love, needless to say, has been put on the back burner for a while. It has been close to the grindstone ever since, trying to make up for 12 G's in damages. Thankfully, now that we have a new vehicle, the stress has lowered and my gray hairs have turned brown again. I think that's how it works. Due to lowering stress. Speaking of which, love of my life is safe. We were unharmed and miraculously survived. So that's all I can ask. That was a Christmas miracle. All right, with that out of the way, back to business. Archives of the Empire, Volume 1. I don't want to give you too many spoilers, but I do really love this book. It can be hard to get details about other races in the old world. Sure, there are Wikipedia pages and fandom sites and things you can glean from Warhammer Fantasy's Gotrek and Felix novels. Quick aside, be sure to check out these on Audible. Those books, the Gotrek and Felix series on Audible, read by Jonathan Keeble, are incredible. He does an amazing job, and it really brings the taste of the old world to you. I've purchased every one so far with my Audible subscription. It was for the kids. We don't have kids. But Archives 1 really does deliver. I'm talking halflings. I'm talking Imperial Dwarfs, Mountain Dwarfs of Carrick Asgaras, the history of the Elves of Lorelorn. This book opens up the old world like no other, and so it is a great addition for all of you Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay fans. Unlike other books in the series, say the compendiums for The Enemy Within, which is kind of the big, I'd say, big draw for this edition, 4th edition of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, or the supplemental material in Adventures, town setups, etc. The descriptions of high and low culture in each race isn't something you can copy paste into other RPGs. So it's very specific to how the old world works. The dynamics, the interspecies dynamics, they're fabulous. And again, the richness is there. It's distinctly Warhammer. Not to mention, as a game master, since this book will apply heavily to your players who are hoping to maybe add some crazy shenanigans with their specific race, given all of the info that it has for players, and not to mention 4 new character classes, which are Ghost Strider, Field Warden, Karak Ranger, and the more trolley-esque Badger Rider for any halfling players. How to describe it? How to describe a Badger Rider? I'd say it is a hilarious career for halflings that want a Samwise Gamgee leading a cavalry charge on top of a furry badger with kind of rabies vibe. That right there, that's the character. I cannot wait to play one. I just need to, well, frankly, find a good DM around here. besides myself. I think I do all right. So for someone wishing to develop an in-depth character that is with the canon of the old world, from Lorelorn, Carrick Asgaraz, or just delve into life as an imperial dwarf, this is a great book for you. Let's see, besides the clear introduction into the milieu, the history of and background surrounding the 3 old world races I mentioned, there is also a good description of the grand provinces in this book. So, we're talking not only the Empire in the year 2512, IC, but just clear descriptions of Averland, Middenheim, Midland, Nuln, Ostland, all of these places. They have the land, the people, and a significant place. So for each of these, it breaks down that province into very clear places. And what is really fabulous about them is that, say, for certain selections, like Nuln, they have a plot hook, the occasional plot hook, which is great. Not to mention each of these significant places, they have so much backstory to them, and you can research this online, that they're perfect for plot hooks as well. Everything from wogs to just anything. All right. Let's see. Beyond that, again, just full of plot hooks. It makes preparing an adventure, cuts down the time by a lot. And if you have characters you have player characters that are looking to develop their backstory, maybe go back to their homeland, it is perfect for that. There is a great map of Lorelorn. In the back, you make good use of kind of their visitor's guide for each of these areas. In regards to careers, I'm going to save that for people who buy the book. I don't want to give stats out. I also want you guys to support the book. If you're interested in the book, I want this to be a book review, not so much just secrets and spoilers. There's a second appendix for weapons, and it covers the elf, dwarf, halfling, melee, and ranged weapons. So there's a new variety for ammunition. The availability for these, some are rare, some are exotic, some are just frankly funny. A halfling, there's a melee weapon for a halfling that is essentially a cleaver, like your grandmother's cleaver. It's called Nan's cleaver, or a skillet. So again, like I'm saying, Samwise Gamgee riding at the front of a cavalry charge, 3.5 feet off the ground, with a rabid badger. It's just fabulous. And of course, beyond that, the very final page of the book, beyond before the index, is just a quick go through of specific effects that each of these weapons have. The Slayer's Axe, as well as the Dwarf Hammer and Bearded Axe, are great. I love having those weapon stats on hand, just in case one of my players wants a little something extra beyond what is in the core rulebook. And it is perfect. That is this book, and hopefully that entertained you for what little time you have spent watching. Next up on The Lauren Show, I'd like to do a bit of a cartography episode. I just recently got this book. It is How to Draw RPG Fantasy Maps, and I tried my hand. It's a pretty rough sketch, but essentially it is for world building. This isn't the best, but it's fun. I've just been world building my own RPG setting. I think I'm going to use 2 different rule sets with it. One 5th edition, and the second would be WFRPG. I just like the D100 system and the crit charts. Maybe streamline the magic a little bit. Add a little bit of DCC Dungeon Crawl Classics inspiration for succeeding beyond the pale. And yes, it's gonna be good. So, geeks, gablins, gamers, have a good one. Peace.